Welcome back. Chinese President Xi Jinping arriving in Moscow this morning for a 3-day visit and talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. This after the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Putin over alleged war crimes committed in Russia's war in Ukraine. Beijing calling Xi's visit a, quote, trip for peace, where he is expected to push for ceasefire talks between Russia and Ukraine. Joining me now is Tennessee Senator, Senate Judiciary Committee member, and Senate Finance Committee member Marsha Blackburn. Senator, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks so much for being here. What do you make of this visit, Xi Jinping going to Moscow now?
Maria, this is the axis of evil, as I call them, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. Yeah. And what you have is China is the leader of this pack. We know they're helping to bankroll Russia right now. They are buying their oil. They're helping to finance Iran, manufacturing drones in Russia. They're encouraging North Korea to send rockets to Russia. So here you see them beginning to build out what they see as their path to domination over us. Couple this with the fact that China is expanding their Belt and Road Initiative into the Western Hemisphere. And Biden is weak. Xi Jinping knows this, and he feels like he's got some running room right now. And Gordon Chang, who is always so good on this, will talk about how China plans to be globally dominant by the time we get to 2050. And they feel like this is their time to really make some headway. And they see this as their open window, and it is going to be up to us to stop them.
And Joe Biden doesn't appear ready to stop them at all. He has yet to bring up the origins of COVID-19 and China's culpability and the fact that they covered it up for so long. He's yet to bring up the fentanyl to knock it off to Xi Jinping, the intellectual property theft. And now, of course, last week we got the Biden family bank records. James Comer was with me Sunday, and he told me that this is the first deal, but there are 11 more where Biden family may have taken money from foreign powers. How's he going to respond to Xi Jinping with all of this?
And this is the problem. You have to say, are they compromised or are they fearful of what China will do to Biden Incorporated? And is that why they're not going after it? But as you said, COVID, fentanyl, look at the $1 trillion trade deficit that we have. Joe Biden should call Xi Jinping and say, you know that $1 trillion trade deficit? If you don't knock off the fentanyl, if you don't come clean on COVID, we're going to stop that.
Right.
And China has to have that. They've got to have the U.S. market. They had the best year they've ever had exporting to the USA, the best year they've ever had in 2022.
Yeah, and yet they have most favored nation status when it comes to trade. Would you be poised to change that? Would you vote to support to change most favored nation status?
Of course we should change that.
Yeah.
Of course, they are not our competitor. They are our adversary.
Well, this is what
we need to treat them that way.
This is the point they made earlier. Competitors actually all play by the same rules.
Right.
And that's not what we have here. Meanwhile, is it any coincidence that President Trump says that the Manhattan DA's office is now going to indict him tomorrow over an alleged hush money payment that he made before the 2016 election 7 years ago to Stormy Daniels? The former president posted to Truth Social yesterday saying this: Michael Cohen's former legal advisor will testify today to present supposedly conclusive and irrefutable information. Senator, what do you make of this now?
It is political retribution. Donald Trump messed up their plan. Barack Obama told us they were going to radically transform this country. They felt like they were well on their way, and Hillary Clinton would be the third term of Barack Obama. And Donald Trump messed that up. So now they are after him. There is no limit, no end to the limits they will go to go after Donald Trump. And it is one of the things that concerns me, and what I hear so much about from Tennesseans that I'm talking to every single day, Maria, they are beginning to say, hey, wait a minute, we're a nation of laws. We have respect for the rule of law. but all of a sudden you have these people that are working outside of the rule of law and are trying to, on their own, change the application of the law.
Yeah.
And it is of tremendous concern.
Well, your colleague in the Senate, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, I mean, she seems like she wants to run for president again, it appears to me. She's slamming Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell now, and she's claiming that he failed at his job following the collapse of both Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. By the way, she's not alone in this assessment. Watch.
I'm calling for an independent investigation of the Fed and the whole regulatory system here. The Fed doesn't just get to do its own investigation. I'm calling for the Fed right now to reverse its weakened regulations and to bear down, to look at these banks with much more scrutiny. And then I'm also calling on Congress, as you rightly say, to roll back the ability of the Fed to weaken regulations and calling for these CEOs to be held accountable.
She wants CEOs to be held accountable, Senator Blackburn. You're a member of the Senate Finance Committee. Was it not Elizabeth Warren who a year ago or 2 years ago was pushing to actually make it easier for the mid-sized banks? Now she's saying they made a mistake. She wants the rules back in place.
What she should be looking at is the supervisory role. And why did they discount what they were seeing at SVB? Poor management? Absolutely. Wrong set of priorities? Yes, because they were focused on DEI and ESG.
Yeah.
And basically, the Biden administration and Yellen, we had her before us last week, what they've done is to say, okay, if you're going to stay true to ESG and DEI, we've got you covered, and we're going to bail you out. So that is the marker that they have laid down.
Yeah, I keep asking, would this administration and the Democrats have been so fast to bail out Silicon Valley Bank if it was called Texas Midland Bank and all of its customers were oil and oil drillers?
Right. And they would not have. And see, if you look at what happened with SVB, they went to Goldman for help, couldn't get it. They tried to get a buyer, couldn't get it. Couldn't get the bank to auction. So then finally, you have all of Yellen and that group saying, we can't let them go down. These are our friends. They're all in green energy. They're all in big tech. Yeah. So we've got to go make them whole. And to put Chinese companies in front of U.S. taxpayers. When she said that in committee, I could not even believe she admitted it. And then she wanted to say, when I asked her about nationalizing, if this was a pathway to nationalizing the banking system, Maria, then she pivots and says, oh, well, no. But of course it is. If you're going to say we're the guarantor of first choice, we've got the first position in guaranteeing all deposits in every bank, that puts them on the path to nationalization.
Well, the Chinese depositors part of this story is just incredible.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And by the way, they won't even admit that it's a bailout. Everybody knows it's a bailout.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
it's Biden's big bank bailout.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, aren't taxpayers on the hook because they're going to be the customers and they're going to
pay higher fees
go up,
right.
And that's what the banks pay into the FDIC fund.
That's right. Yeah. And all their fees are going to go up.
Yeah.
Every community bank, every state charter bank, every federal bank, customers are going to see their fees go up.
Really a nervous time right now. So.
Very nervous time. I worry every day for the future of this country. And you know what? Getting Joe Biden and this group that they're so focused on their goals, which are wrong, DEI, ESG, being one of many, not America the exceptional. Maria, it worries me every single day.
Well, the consequences of this climate change agenda, also incredible.
Yeah.
Senator, thank you. Great to see you.
So good to join you.
You too. We so appreciate you being on set. Marsha Blackburn joining us here in New York.